All right, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at. Let's take a look at this. I am going to draw a box. Draw a long, but like a flower box. If any of you ever gotten flowers or seen or bought somebody flowers or seen one of those movies where somebody delivers flowers and it's a old school Tommy gun in it. It's a rifle or something. That's what I'm gonna. I'm not gonna draw the rifle, but what I am gonna do is, and I want you to draw this with me because you should be able to at least do this. So we're gonna just make a little bit of a square, like a rectangle, and it's gonna be at a bit of an angle. So it's like a diamond almost, right? So it's almost like a diamond, and then we're gonna just pull these lines back like this. I'm gonna make them pretty long too. Just make them pretty long. Don't worry about making it neat. And then we're gonna pull that third line back. Now we're gonna go over this first line. I'm gonna call this line 1. We're gonna go over this, and then we're gonna go right here to the back almost. And you can draw over it a little bit, and we want to hit that exact angle. So now, with this angle right here, I want to try and match that exact angle. You don't have to match it perfectly, and I'm about to show you why. So now you should have something that looks a bit like this. This is kind of a box, right? Let's put a little bit of shadow right here. Tiny little bit of shadow. All right. And we will go on the outside. I'll darken this up a little bit. Now, I'm going to go full screen here. So now I'm going to take this. I'm going to zoom in. And these little corners right here. So this first little corner, I want to round this. I want to round that corner. And this whole corner right here, I just want to round that a little bit, right? So I got like this little U thing going on here in the bottom. And this corner right here, I'm just going to round this outside corner, right? And then back over here, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Rounding this, doesn't have to be perfect. I want to round this corner. It's almost like I'm trying to cut off the little corner. And I'm rounding this corner right here. Right? So now we have like this more of an organic box. I'm not worried about what's in the middle. That's irrelevant to me. So what I'm going to do now is let's take this because I want to show you what's going on here so that we can put 2 and 2 together to make 17. All right. This, I'm going to then duplicate this layer right here. And now I'm going to go full screen. And so now with this, what I want to do is I'm going to take a little bit of an eraser here. I'm going to erase around here. Okay. So right now, what you can see is this little side right here is shaded. But I want to show that, but I do want you to see that there are different sides. And we can see 3 different sides of this, right? We have side 1. Let's call this side 1. Let's call this side 2. Let's call this side 3. Now, if I wanted to, now this looks more like a loaf of bread, right? This looks exactly like a loaf of bread, a long loaf of bread. So let's say we want to slice this loaf of bread up. I'm going to bring a line right here. I'm going to bring this down, bring this here. I'm slicing this loaf of bread. And probably it would round off a little bit like this because we want to make this a little bit more rounder. And so this is sliced, this is straight, and we're slicing this loaf of bread, right? That's our visual cue, is a loaf of bread. So we're slicing, and so we got, and we'll make a little end piece that nobody really wants, right? I like the end pieces, but you know, that's that. I didn't like them when I was a kid. So now we can acknowledge that we have we have three sides. So we can visibly see three sides, right? And so we've sliced this up. So now what I want to do is I'm going to duplicate that. And I want to bring this down. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to move these around a little bit so we can see the natural progression here. It's one. That's our second one. This is our third one right here. So I'm going to zoom in here. And we know that this is two sides, right? Or three sides. I'm going to grab this eraser. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. So now, what I'm going to do, switch over here to an eraser. This, and I am going to, just going to erase all this. Why in the world did I just, it was my dog. Sorry about that. I don't know if I'll edit that out or not. It's a dog. My goodness. So we've got this, and now I'm going to go back over this shape again. So now if you look at this shape, I just go right back over this shape like this. Well, what does that look like? It looks like the shape that I taught you guys before, right? Right? And it's this shape right here. It's the same shape. So now if I want to go in, we know it's going to have two sides to it. This is going to be our form. So we went from box to this. And so we can make this longer. We can make this fatter. We can change the different sizes of it. Make this a little bit neater. So this is our form. And you still see we have, there's a front. Let's do that again. So there's this side right here. So now if I want to go in and shade in this side, just like I have, so that's 1, we'll call that 2, and we'll call this 3. So now if I want to shade in this side, you can clearly see that I turned this little shape right here. This is our shape. That's the shape. And this is the form. It's the 3D form. So every time that I draw this, I'm drawing a representation of this box over here. So I would really very much like for you to take your time and practice that. Now, if you already understand it, then that's fine. Then you probably don't have to practice anything. But I would say that trying to turn these hard shapes into organic shapes, it does help. So yeah, and at the end, I'm obviously going to have some worksheets for you guys to practice it. But let's jump into the second shape. Let's jump into our next shape. So we'll call this is our loaf of bread. It could be French bread or whatever. So yeah, let's jump into the next one.